book lovers and storytellers. Welcome to another session here in Readers Magnet's featured author interview. My name is Leah and I will be your host for today. And with me is one of the Readers Magnet's featured author. And today we are very excited because she will be sharing to us what this book is all about, her being an author, and of course the inspiration behind it. So let's all welcome our one and only Miss Mouna Fall, author of the book Why They. Hello, Mouna. It's good to see you. How are
Hello,
you
Mina.
It's
Thank
good
you
to see
so much
both
for
of
having me.
you.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a little pleasure. Thank you so much, Mouna. So here, I'm very excited of this discussion. I mean, aside from wanting to know you as an author, but it's also about your book. Very timely, because you know what? Especially this month, it's February, and hey, it's Love Month, everybody. So this is really going to be a good topic. And what I wanted to say, Muna, is you did really got the right time and opportunity for this interview. Okay, but yeah, before we do that, Muna, can you tell us a bit information about you?
Well, what can I say about me? Let me start away. I was born in West Africa. You know, Grew up a little bit. Then when I was a teenager, moved to Europe and then come back to the US. Been here for a little bit over 20 some years. Um, I always been very social, loving, observing, and pretty much around the world. I love to travel. I love to talk to people, and I think what really motivated this book is that I was a hairdresser for like 20 years, and this is
Oh,
where a lot of
wow, that's
confusion
nice.
happen. A lot of confusion happened. So, dealing with a woman, and I also was doing a lot of African hair braiding. So you would have a client for a couple hours at the time, three,
Right,
four
right.
hours, um, sometime more, and then it's several women, during the course of the day and every day and this. And so we talk about a lot of things. And the one subject that used to keep coming back was, relationship, families and wars and different things. Um, and I was always wanted to write something. I had started so many different books in so many part of my life. But this particular book didn't really click on me until I got cheated on,
Oh,
and it hit so close to home. It hit home, and I suffered so much from that act. Like, and I had so many questions. Like, I feel like everything in my life, I need closure. I need to move on. I need to understand, because I thought that in a relationship, if you do the right thing, you'll be protected from people that betray you or to cheat on you. So I felt that I was a good woman. I felt that I was a great partner. It was my friend. It was everything to me. So I could not understand where did I failed him, and I went to all those emotions. So again, I started write down, and then I started asking, other women, hey, remember you mentioned to me that you were cheating, how did you move on and this and that. So I had to even go to counseling. This is when I started understand that it was more to the act that just what happened. It was a psychological reason behind it. So I started do a serious research. My daughter also started psychology in college, so I was
wow.
like, you know what? I need answers. I want to know, because I felt that I was going crazy, going around with my emotion, and I realized that, wait, I wasn't by myself. Like, it was so many women and men echoing, everything I was saying when we was talking about cheating. So this is why I selected this as my first book. I have 20 titles I'm working on, but this one was the one I said, you know what? I'm going to come out with this because I know what I have to endure during this journey, and I felt better in my life where I am now. And I would like to help other people. I'm gonna call them victims to and ask answers as well.
Sure.
So this is why we have Why They Cheat.
Wow. You know what? You know what, Mona? Thank you so much for that because this is really interesting. I really like the idea of creating this book to start helping people as well. And you know what? This is amazing. I also like the idea on how you started this book with your own experience, with the questions, what's going on. That for those people who is also going through the same path or scenario could really relate to. And in every questions, there are answers as well that can definitely, let's say, help them better understand the situation they're in right now. And you know what? I must say, Donna, that this is reality. It talks so much about relationship, the forgiveness, which is also important, new perspective, any specific topic. Because we know that, I must say, the word cheating, it really does exist in every kind of way. And one of the heaviest part is when it comes to cheating on a relationship, a heartbreaking
Yeah.
situation. Wow. Now, I'm very curious, Muna, since this book of yours is really I can say that this is really a successful creation. Are there any times that you encountered, let's say, the most difficult part of your writing process? Are there any times like that?
Yes. So, and it's so interesting because now I have to go back to who I am because I think that was your first question. So, I've been a single mother and I have been doing
um,
a lot. So I also suffer from cancer. I had to
mm,
do a lot of treatment and I have a lot of moments where I was alone during my treatment of being in bed where it was very difficult and I have to kind of put my mind somewhere else. Also dealing with the kids, sometimes I have to juggle several jobs. So a lot of time I
right,
like to work at night. So during all this different steps of my life, um, the book was kind of like almost over, but then I was struggling in like a few chapter because I really wanted the book to be the most accurate possible. So I had to do a lot of research, and when COVID hit, it was very very hard. But for some unknown reason, it works out for me because it actually gave me forced me to stop forced me to stop juggling my two, three jobs, my businesses, um, forced me to have time available and infinite time to do my research. So even if it was a difficult time before, through my jobs, because I could only kind of write a little thing in a minute, I have some ideas when I'm just in the middle of something. I said, let me write this down so I don't forget. But now it was basically all night. I have suffer also from insomnia, which is not maybe the greatest thing to do, but
mm,
I always know how to find myself busy. So what I was going through this very hardship, it really creates a platform for me to be able to write the book. So the probably the hardest part of this was to kind of go back into memory land and kind of go to those emotions, then I kind of heal from it and even remember to be able to give my readers, the most accurate feelings. I kind of
wow.
had to feel that as I was writing. So a couple times I had tears coming down my face because it was surreal. Or even some of my actors in the book, like when I was writing the pain, it was very difficult. When I had to describe the pain that
Mm,
one of the victim endured,
right.
that was, I think, the emotional part of the connection part of the book emotionally was the hardest for me.
Right. Reminiscing, it's like, hey, an ultimate throwback for everything. Because in every letters that you wrote for each pages of the book, hey, this is my story and I need to do this. I also
Yeah,
like the courage, Muna, for really stepping up to really, I must say that it also raises a woman empowerment. Hey, you are
yeah,
not alone. You need to do you. Don't
yes.
let negativity consume you. I like that. And that's priceless, Muna. Now, I'm very curious as well that you mentioned earlier that you also have kids, right? Now,
Yeah.
what was the impact of writing this book for you and for your loved ones, especially for your family, let's say?
Okay, wait a minute. Repeat the question again.
Yeah, what was the impact of writing this book for you, of course, and for your loved ones, especially your
So
family.
yeah, so I think the biggest impact for me was that it was a point going through my cancer fight where
Mm,
I was afraid that I may not win this fight and my life would just end. And I was really trying to make sure that I can leave something to my kids, a part of me, through my writing. And it was basically be able to for them to know that mommy was here and this is why she created for you. So I think for my family, it was so emotional because I felt it down. I felt good. If anything would happen, my kids can always have a piece of me somewhere, and it say, hey, this is my mommy. She wrote this, or have it maybe to my
right.
grandkids. Hey, grandma wrote a book, and I feel like I was here. I was on Earth. I was alive once. I did certain things.
Mm,
This is the only thing that I can feel that I accomplished that nobody
yeah,
can take from them. Because they could lose a house, they could lose the car, they could lose everything. But this
mhm,
book is not going anywhere.
right.
So
Especially that it's based on your experience, the battles that you have fought, and of course the courage, the inspiration behind it, everything. Especially for the specific agenda that you are advocating for this book to also help out women who was also going through something like being in that situation. And you know what, Muna? One thing that I really wanted to say to you right now is a big thank you. You deserve this acknowledgement, this recognition, and yes, your family must be very proud of you as well. By creating such a wonderful book, and from the bottom of our hearts, our entire Readers Magnet family, thank you so much as well for choosing us to be part of this journey towards you reaching your goal as an author, not just by not just that, but it's more than that. A superwoman we have here at Readers Magnet. And it was really a wonderful story to share. Now,
thank
Muna, I wanted
you.
you to take this opportunity to, to say something for the people you wanted to discover your book, and to those people who you've also wanted to help, or let's say whom you've already helped for this book.
So one thing I want to say, and this is something I say to my daughter. I have a couple daughters. Um my sisters, I have a lot of sisters, a lot of friends, and a lot of women. I also mentioned also a couple member of the LGBT community. So it was really in relationship. People have to be very sensitive to red flags. We have to stop lying to ourselves. We have to be able to face those red flags in the beginning and stop ignoring them and build over, because at the end, if we don't have any strong foundation in any relationship, eventually everything we're building on the top will crumble down. So my advice to everybody, please, 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 we all have a sense, we all know the red flags. If you don't know the red flag, read the book. I covered a lot of red flags in the book.
Wow.
A lot, those are real stories of real people, happen to us every day, to all of us. So you will know somebody that have a similar story. So it's not something that is impossible to happen. Nobody's good enough for this to happen, but we can prevent it at the maximum if we listen to red flags, because this is the biggest mistake we made as a woman. We're so sensitive when we fell in love. We do not
Mhm.
listen to red flag. I would say the same thing to
Right.
men also. When they fell in love, they do not pay attention to red flag. Every relationship have its red flags, and
Mhm.
we have to pay attention to address those red flags in the beginning and build a solid relationship. And if it doesn't work in the beginning, just stop, reset, and find
Yeah.
something else to do. That's the only
Mhm.
way. Because other than that, it's gonna be a lot of tears, and we really don't want to be crying, because the healing journey is a long, long and lonely journey.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
And that is real prizes, Muna. And you know what? I'm gonna say that we all know that life is full of surprises, but love
Yeah.
does too. You know, it can either break you or make you. So again,
Yeah.
we really appreciate this story, Mona. It was really an interesting discussion. Thank you so much for gazing with us today. So yes, everyone, our one and only Ms. Mouna Margaret Fall, author of the book Why They Cheat. And again, her book is available in Amazon.com, Barnes& and
Yeah.
Noble, and you may also follow her on all the social media platforms she has so that you would be able to get the chance to check all the link where his book is available. So yes, Mouna, again, thank you so much. And as we say here in Reader's Magnet, we share your story with the world. Thank you so much, Mouna.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you,
My
Leah.
pleasure.
You're the best. I really
Oh, thank you
appreciate
so much,
you.
Mouna. You take care. Bye now.
Hey, you too. Bye bye.